Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Thursday, 19th of September, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. And if you're over on X, smash that heart. Duke, stop.
God, cut it out.
Free cat today.
Free cat. Anyway, all right. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good Thursday. We're almost done with this week. Praise be to God. This one's almost over with.
It's been a week.
It has been a week.
It's
All right.
been a week.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a little busy,
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up with what was and what keeps
And
happening.
you're already going to be starting your next class on Monday.
There, yeah. Well, I mean, yay.
There you go.
There we go.
Hey, F Clan.
What's up, F Clan? How you doing, man?
There's Miss Tracy.
There's Tracy. What's going on, Tracy?
Got Bethany Ann and Light Sphere over on Pill.
There we go.
She'll be over here in a
Bethany
there
Ann.
she is.
There she is. Bethany Ann. What's up, Lightspear? How you doing, man? And we love all of y'all's. No more bad news. Yeah, we have no control over that
I already
whatsoever.
told him
Yeah.
no promises. Love you too, Tracy. I told him no promises.
What's
There's
up, Mike? How you doing, Mike? By the way, I saw a thing about Big Mike, like Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Big Mike. I like selling books or some
Yeah.
crap. Yeah, it was interesting.
Mhm.
Lightspear. Oh, the FBI now stuck up on lube, and they should have parties so they can leave people alone until January 20th. They are set. Yeah, hopefully that'll keep them entertained long enough.
Exactly. Well, apparently Diddy dropped Jay-Z in the dirt today.
What? No, say it isn't so.
Yeah.
How about that? Wow, who would have had that
Who
one?
would have thunked it?
Who would have thought that there was no honor amongst thieves?
I know.
Huh.
Did you have that
It's
on
weird.
your 2024 bingo card?
I think I did have that they were going to screw each other over. Yeah.
He's being ornery.
You can have him. Please take your cat.
He's being really ornery.
Anyway, so let's get a move on.
Are you
here.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to go ahead and read that?
President Trump at New York rally thanks God for sparing his life, not once, but twice.
Oh, hey, Miss Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, what's going on, Jenny? Uh-oh, watch out. Hold on. There we go.
Watch out for the frogs, Jenny.
Caught me unprepared.
We're doing good, Mike. Hopefully
good,
you're
Mike.
doing amazing.
Yeah, doing good.
Okay, let's go.
All right, let's do this.
They're doing things in politics that have never been done before in the history of our country. And worst of all, with their open borders and bad elections, they have made us into a third world nation, something which nobody thought was even possible. Americans deserve a campaign based on the issues. We try and keep it on the issues. And God has now spared my life. It must have been God. Thank you. Not once, but twice. And there are those that say he did it because Trump is going to turn this state around. He's going to turn this country around. He's going to make America great again. And maybe. And we're going to bring back religion into our country. Bring it back. These encounters with death have not broken my will. They have really given me a much bigger and stronger mission. They've only hardened my resolve to use my time on earth to make America great again for all Americans, to put America first, and to put America first.
Thoughts, sir?
President Trump, he's awesome. Yeah, it's kind of funny. They shot at him 2 times. It kind of reminded me of the movie Goodfellas, where they
2
had,
times.
yeah, what was it? Tony, we
Tony
called him,
two-
yeah, we called him Tony 2 times because he said everything 2 times. I'm going to go get the papers, It's a good movie back in the day. I mean, now it's a little ridiculous, especially considering who was in it. But despite all of that, you know, they tried to take out President Trump 2 times.
Yeah,
2 times.
actually 3. They
Well,
found the car with the explosives.
Yeah, well, there is that. I mean, who's counting, you know?
At this point.
At this point, what difference does
I
it
knew
make?
you were going to do that. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready if you are.
Trump was on Gutfeld last night.
See, that's awesome.
Mr. P, how's your golf game?
Well, haven't been thinking about it too much lately. I always said golf is a very dangerous game.
It really is. It really is, especially if they're playing with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's
What? That was a
pretty
mean
sad.
joke.
Pretty sad.
Did you? If they had told you that the shooter was there, would you have tried to take him out with your 3-wood?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If I knew. Actually, the Secret Service did a great job. They saw the barrel of a gun, big gun,
Yeah.
and it came out through bushes. And how many people would see that? First, you know, he really was very exceptional to have done it.
Thoughts?
So, obviously, President Trump is going to be talking about this one for a little bit, and it's nice to hear that he's giving kudos to the Secret Service. After all, there are good Secret Service people still that are still trying to protect the president. Obviously, that's the case, and that's why they were able to foil this evil plan and actually capture the patsy or whatever he's going to end up being out of this whole thing.
Right.
It's I'm glad that President Trump is making light of it. I can see that it's kind of wearing on him, which, you know, you kind of expect it to, but he's in good spirits about the whole thing, despite the fact that, well, they're trying to take him out. Surprise, but we kind of expected them to not want President Trump back in office. And, you know, whenever you corner a wild animal, what happens? Well, this wild animal found itself backed into a corner and it doesn't like it. But that's what you get for being a swamp creature trying to, you know, usurp the legitimate power of this country. But, you know, I'm just throwing that one out there.
Yeah.
So yeah, obviously they're going to respond in and lash out in a manner that normal, rational people would not do.
Right. Tracy swears that Donald Trump is part Texan.
Part Texan?
Yeah. That's hilarious.
That is pretty funny. I mean, you know, there might be some Texan in there somewhere. Who
Could
knows?
be. Could be.
There is that rumor that he has some kind of relation to
General Patton.
I know. I know.
Just whatever. Anyways, all right.
You ready?
Yeah.
So this is Trump in a blue city. You ready?
Yes.
Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the, y'all don't really want it like I know. Yeah, here comes the, here comes the.
Huh? It's interesting, isn't it?
Big crowds. I have no idea what blue city that was, but
Long Island.
Long Island.
Hmm.
Okay. And then, then again, I mean, people from all over this country are not as blue as the media wants everybody to think, obviously.
Right.
But people, now that we're all talking to each other again and not taking everything that the news says at face value, people are recognizing, hey, there's a lot of people that keep showing up to all these events that they keep saying nobody's showing up to. And so people are opening their eyes. And that's another one of the things that helps people open their eyes is when it is the exact opposite of what the press generally says. And so, yeah, keep screwing up, press, because you're doing a great job waking people up. But that's kind of part of the whole you're watching a movie bit. And that's what it looks like to me more and more every day.
Yeah.
Jenny says, I keep telling everyone New York loves Trump. I believe you, Jenny. I believe you.
Well, wherever
yeah.
that was, it was a blue city. So I don't know.
It may have been in yesteryears,
Yeah.
but not anymore. I believe that New York's always been a lot more red than
what they say.
Yeah, but that's what they tried to make it sound like. And it's easy to hide something like that when you have, how many, millions of people in such a small confined space.
New York City.
It's going to make it easier for corruption to happen.
Oh, yeah.
So I do believe that there's a lot more red in that city than there is blue. And, we'll see that. I'll tell you what, when this election looks like there's shenanigans and they have to do like a legitimate hand count in front of everybody kind of election, we'll find out what the real answer is.
Yeah.
Because I still think that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Hope. Hey, Hope, what's going on? Yeah, New York is bigger than the city.
Mhm.
It is much bigger than the city. New York City's huge, but the rest of the state makes up for it too. There's a
does.
lot of people in that beautiful state.
Exactly.
I wish that they could get rid of the corruption out there, because there's a lot of good, hardworking, solid Americans who've been there for a long time trying to do their dead level best, and they can't because of the corruption's it's run too deep for way too long. So I know that once New York actually gets to shine the way it could, I know that New York is going to be a tremendous, boom to not only the economy, but everywhere across the country, because of the capabilities of your average American that are right there in New York City. And they're just good, hardworking people, want to be left alone. Let me do my job, make my pay, go back home. I don't want anything to do with all the drama and the politics and nothing like that. And it's the way we all want to be. I get it. Mike says, I don't think there are as many blue states as they tell us there are. I'm starting to wonder if California is even red anymore.
You mean blue?
No, I mean blue. Yes, blue. Thank you. I'm starting to wonder whether or not California is even blue anymore.
Yeah.
And I know that places like Wisconsin and Minnesota, I believe that the corruption is just too deep out there too. I think that they take full advantage and make states something that they're actually not.
Yeah.
Right, Mike? They lie, and they do lie. They lie all the time.
They're very good at it.
But that's how they get into politics. Is we've been too trusting. We've been too
Yes.
innocent-minded.
We went on cruise control, and you can't do that.
Yeah.
We have to stay awake.
The good thing is people won't be on cruise control for a whole lot longer. And
Exactly.
especially once everybody starts to wake, or as everybody's waking up, we won't go on cruise control again for quite some time. The difficult part is going to be making sure that our kids are probably even more difficult. So our grandkids or great grandkids, when we're no longer around and they start to lose the lessons that we've learned in such a difficult manner, I think that that's where our focus is going to have to go, is after we're gone, how do we make sure that those future generations, that our posterity doesn't allow this to happen again? It's going to be a difficult ask, but we'll
Right.
figure it out. Jenny says, according to my friend Mel, who lives in California, it's red.
Wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining, brother.
You ready?
Yep, let's do
Got
this.
Preston. He's going to talk about voting.
All right.
Hey Sherry, thank you so much for tagging me in this. But I first want to say to the original creator who made the video that you made this comment on, I apologize. My intent is not to hijack your post. I just want to make sure I answer this question. So legally, I am not allowed to tell you or influence you on how to cast your vote. Other people are. Me personally, I cannot tell you. But I will tell you, for me, I have only and will only ever cast my vote on election day at the poll. And the reason for that is because, to me, there is no better feeling in this world than walking away from that poll after casting your ballot. It is the most incredible feeling of empowerment, quite frankly, that a person could ever experience. Aside from that, I do enjoy having conversations while waiting to cast my vote. I enjoy standing in line. I enjoy interacting with the community. Even those who don't recognize me, I find myself having true, genuine conversations. And quite frankly, it shows that we are not as divided as they like us to believe that we are. And I live in a swing county, so typically that voter line is a really diverse line. However, the most important thing is that you actually vote. But before we get there, let's talk about the importance of registering to vote. It is by far the easiest thing you could ever do. And there are bipartisan organizations such as rockthevote.org, I've tagged them below, that will literally hold your hand and walk you through the process of registering to vote. Every single eligible American should be registered. The next question I get is individuals who are new voters that I love to hear from, but they are somewhat intimidated by the process. And I will talk a lot more about this as we near election day. But let me say, casting your vote, whether it is paper ballot or electronic ballot, is the easiest thing you will ever do. And if you need help, there's always a poll worker there that's going to make sure to help you, walk you through the process, and make sure that your vote or your ballot is submitted successfully. Do not allow the process or the technology to intimidate you in any way or keep you from voting. Again, the most important thing is that you register and you get out and you vote. However or whenever is completely up to you. But as for me, I will always vote at my poll location on election day. Much love. God bless.
He said he was not going to smile until Trump wins.
That's fair enough. I can see that.
Thoughts?
So voting on, going out to vote. Which day do you vote? Well, I mean, I know I've said a million times on here that I'm voting on election day. I think that for me personally, I think that that's the most secure day. I think it makes it a lot more difficult for them to do their shenanigans. But with that, they're already setting us up in their news articles that it's going to be days before we get the votes counted.
I'm not sure that's going to be able to fly this time with True the Vote and all those.
I think that they're going to try to take days to put the votes out. I think that that's going to be part of the games that we see moving forward. They're setting us up for it. They're definitely setting us up for them not having the votes counted on election day. But that as far as I can see it is as long as we're casting our votes on election day, it makes it where they have to scramble to rig it. So make it too big to rig and make it happen where they have absolutely no time to respond to the overwhelming support for President Trump that we already know he has.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's my thought process on it. Aaron Pauling says, Stephen Baldwin's cryptic videos make a lot more sense when you realize he is Bieber's father-in-law. What?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know he's Bieber's father-in-law.
I had no clue.
I had never heard that before. That's wild.
You ready?
Yeah.
Got Kelly.
All right.
Hey, Christian, can I encourage you today? Why do we make it so hard? Why do we make this walk with God so difficult? You know, he only asked us to do one thing. Follow him. Remember the call Jesus gave you? Follow me. It's the same call he gave to every single one of us. Why do we make it so difficult? You see, what happens is we answer that call. We raise our hands in church. We say, yeah, I want to give my life to you, Jesus. I will follow you. But then what do? We don't follow him. Instead, we say, Jesus, follow me. We give our lives, we raise our hands, and we walk out of the church and we say, Jesus, follow me. I want to go here. This is what I like to do. I've always done it this way. So Jesus, now I want to incorporate you into all that I'm doing. But he never asked us to do that. He said, follow me. You've given your life to Jesus. So follow him. The blessing you're looking for, it comes from following him. The miracle you've been waiting for, it comes from following him. The peace, the joy, the love, the whatever, it all comes from following him. We've got to reach a point where we realize what I've been doing doesn't work. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. God, I need you. When we finally get to that point, that's when we can start following him. And isn't it so crazy that as soon as we start following him, as soon as we shift our eyes and our focus back to Jesus, that's normally right when we see ourselves walking out of the desert season, getting out of the storm. It all comes down to who are you following? Follow Jesus. Don't drag him with you today. Following Jesus is the best move you'll ever make. Give it a try and think about that for a minute.
Don't drag him around.
Thoughts?
That's pretty funny. Probably shouldn't be dragging Jesus around. Just throwing that one out there right now. But it is so it's like, okay, first of all, here I am stumbling all over myself. That's always fun when I do that. Kelly always, first things first, Kelly always has some amazing analysis and loves to share it. And really it is a choice. It's a choice we make every single moment of every single day to choose to follow him. But that's what we're called to do. Follow me. Oh, okay. But that doesn't mean it's like, oh, okay, good. Okay, I follow you. And then you just kind of assume that everything's going to change. No, it requires our effort and we have to put that effort forth. So that's what we do is we have to make the choice to follow him as we're presented various things in life all the time. We're presented choices. And those are at that moment when we're presented those choices is when we have to make that choice to either follow him or not. Easy peasy. Lemon squeeze.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yep.
I know you love this guy.
This guy's awesome.
Kamala Harris, how dare you try to slide into my DMs? Friend, I am not your friend. I went toe to toe with Trump on the debate stage, and I need you to know where you stand. Do you support my campaign? Kamala, let's get one thing straight. I will never support your campaign. Don't you ever try to slide into my DMs like you did Willie Brown. Here is your response, Kamala. Come!
Thoughts?
That dude's hilarious. He's got himself a pretty good shtick right now because of Kamala Harris and her trying to pretend like she's not Indian, well, except for when it's convenient for her, in which case then she claims to be absolutely everything, which is horse
her
bucky.
accent changes all the time.
Yeah, so, but this dude's funny. He's really ripping her, on behalf of all Indians.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Are you ready?
I will say that the memes, just the memes, the trash talking, the stuff that people's coming up with are probably
been amazing.
They've been amazing, and they've probably kept it just light enough for all of us to get some enjoyment out of it. Because really, we shouldn't even be having these discussions. That's why everything gets so aggravating and frustrating sometimes. Because it's like, how can y'all not see what's going on around you? But somehow, some way, they can't see, and so it makes for some good levity regarding this truly depressing state that the world has found itself in.
I know. He is awesome, Tracy. He
is.
You ready?
Yep.
So, Democrats are right. Trump is causing division.
Of course.
You ready?
Yeah.
To the Democratic Party, I'm voting for Trump, but I have to say, you guys got me on this one. You're correct. I can definitely see that Trump is causing division. You guys have said over and over, you said, how can you as a Christian support somebody like Trump when all he's here to do is cause division and separation? And you're right. So let me read something to you. This is Luke 12:51-56. And this is Jesus speaking in the Bible. Do you think that I have come to bring peace to this earth? No, I tell you, but rather division. From now on, 5 in one household will be divided, 3 against 2 and 2 against 3. They will be divided, father against son and son against father, mother against daughter and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against daughter-in-law and daughter-in-law against mother-in-law. He also said to the crowds, when you see a cloud rising in the west, you immediately say, it's going to rain, and so it happens. And when you see the south wind blowing, you say, there will be a scorching heat, and it happens. But you are hypocrites. You know how to interpret the appearance of earth and sky, but why do you not know how to interpret the present time? This may have been written thousands of years ago, but make no mistake that this is for now. You see a man running for president with his own money, his own funds. You see a man that for some reason, all of the government, all of the media, all of the corporations have turned against him. You, with your own mouths, have said that he's here causing division. You, with your own eyes, have seen full-on Democrats switch to his side. You, with your own eyes, have seen 2 assassination attempts. You, with your own eyes, can see now that there's a complete separation with how people are voting. We're not voting red or blue anymore. It is obvious that we are now voting good and evil. We are now voting for God's laws or against God's laws. And it says it right here. When Jesus came the first time to die for our sins, he did not come to bring peace. He came to cause a division, to make there be a choice. You had a choice to choose the living God standing right in front of you or to choose the enemy. He made it clear. He made it obvious. He stated who he was. He stated what he stood for. And here we are again. And if you look at the policies, then you see who stands for God with their policies. It has become very clear which side is good and which side is evil. You can talk about Trump all you want to, but it's not about Trump. It's about the choice to stand for God's laws or against God's laws. It's about the choice to stand for evil or against evil. It's obvious to see who the evil side is. And this is not to say that the Republican side is perfect. However, this is to show that the heart of the Republican side is for the laws of God. We are against the evil policies of the Democratic side. We are against the evil policies of Satan. We are against the evil policies of the satanic ways of the Democratic side, which have become very obvious. You, with your own mouths, have stated that Trump is here causing division. And best believe that is exactly what God is using him for. He is using Trump to make the division very easy to see for everybody. If you don't see it, you better start praying now. We're rising up now. We've sat here long enough. And the time is coming. You are seeing prophecy be fulfilled right in your face. You are seeing a division happening right now. And pretty soon a harvest will begin. A separation of the wheat and the tares. A collection of the people who are for God. Believe me or don't believe me. It's not my job to force you to believe anything. However, I'm going to make sure that you have no excuse to say that you didn't know. It's coming, y'all. Be ready.
Thoughts, sir?
Wow, there's not a single thing that man said that wasn't true. That's what it looks like. And I think there's a lot of people who are saying that right now is like a harvest is coming, and it's becoming more and more apparent forever, or each and every day. What's going on, Stephen? Harvest is in for darkness, and yeah, I believe that the chaff will be removed, and that's something that may look scary to the wheat that is remaining behind as well. We have no idea what that's going to look like, but that's why it's an imperative on each and every one of us to do exactly what he was talking about, which was to inform each and every person and to let them hear the things that they're saying and how that actually aligns with what's going on based off of what we see. Because in the end, we're not trying to tell people the truth because we want to say I'm right. No, we want to tell people the truth so that way they are counted among those who are saved. Because the more people that are saved, the happier we're all going to be. What would it be to be saved and then to find out that you're missing most of anybody and everybody that you thought was important? That's not going to be as much of a joyous experience. Now, granted, being saved is going to be joyous enough, don't get me wrong, but how much more joyous would it be that we lose fewer and fewer of the overall flock? So that's why it is important to us, because we don't ever want to have that regret of I wish I would have tried harder. That's probably one of the worst things that a human being can torture themselves with is I wish I would have done something differently. So God is the way. And that's what we're here to do, is to share.
Absolutely.
Share the word, share the good news.
Yep. You ready?
Yep.
To celebrate the new year, we're having the biggest sale ever on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save 60% on our Goose Down comforters, the best comforters ever. They go perfectly with our MyPillow bed sheets and duvet covers. Save 25% on our brand new kitchen towels. They're made with the same technology as our famous My Towels. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. Our seasonal flannel sheets are finally in. You save up to 50% and they sell out fast every year, so order now. They're truly the best flannel sheets you'll ever sleep on. Or save up to 80% on all our clearance items. And this is where it gets even better. For a limited time, your entire order ships absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use that promo code to get deep discounts on all MyPillow products. And for a limited time, your order ships absolutely free.
All right.
Thank you, Jenny.
Exactly. And thank you, Mike Lindell.
Yes, and thank you, Mike Lindell.
He's done so much for this country, too.
He's done so much for this country, and everything that we've tried is really a high quality. It really is good, and it's just a matter of finding out, what it is that you can use, because eventually our towels get old. Eventually the sheets get old. We haven't tried the flannel ones. I kind of do want to try the flannel ones.
Me too.
We live in the desert, so I don't know how well that's going to work out. But regardless, I do want to say that everything that we've tried from MyPillow has been absolutely amazing. And considering that he's a strong patriot that loves his country and is willing to put his life, his fortune, and his sacred honor on the line, what more is it that we ask out of somebody that is providing a product? Provide a good product, love your community, love your country, and do the best you can. And as far as I can tell, he's done that. So check marks in all my boxes.
Exactly. And you know what? It helps him out, and it absolutely helps us out.
Yeah,
because
it does.
It's not free to do this.
No, it's not free to do this, and it helps keep the lights on. So if that's another reason, please use that one too. Whatever. But make sure you check out mypillow.com/DTOO.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Hope, very much.
Read that out loud.
I'm getting there. Why don't you read it out loud? It's Thursday. I don't have to take this. All right. Hit that thumbs up and show Santino and Kay some love and appreciation for their effort, love, prayers, and precious time they spend with us. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you very much.
That is so amazing.
It's awesome.
You ready?
Thank you, Hope. Yeah, I'm ready.
Don't let your emotions dictate your actions. Everyone should listen carefully to this.
All right.
To include myself.
Okay.
God don't care about how you feel over your future. He will be there and on. Okay, now get up. No. Keep crying. But we're going to do. No. Cry. Let it out. Beat the floor. But we're going to. This is how God does us. No. It's not fair. And whoever told you it was fair, they like, this is not fair. But we going. And too many of us are fighting with God over here and rehearsing our feeling talk. And then what we do is find a small group who feels the same way. And what we do is have, oh, these is my people. No. When you connect over dysfunction, it will never help you grow. Now I need to, y'all told me I could be real today. Some of your besties are the most, I'm just gonna let it rip from now on, okay? They're the most hindrance that you've ever had. You turn up on the weekends, but they keep you from purpose during the week. And you go to them instead of go to God because they will coddle your feelings.
Thoughts, sir?
Facts don't care about your feelings. Kind of the way that works. Look, feelings are great. They're there to tell us. They're there to inform us, and we have to listen to our feelings. We can't deny them because that's one of the things that got us where we're at right now. Yes, exactly, Stephen. Wow. Our feelings are there for a reason, but they do not define who we are. That is our emotional being. We have our physical being, we have our emotional being, we have our spiritual being. We have to rise above our sinful desires of the flesh, but then what's after that? Our emotional being. And our emotional being gets in the way. But you know what they did to me. Well, yeah, I'm sure they did. It
Get
sucks.
away from me before they come back and do it to me too.
They did bad things to you, but they're not there right now anymore. They're not there anymore, right? And you're not going to allow yourself to get in that situation ever again. Take it as a beautiful lesson, as a difficult lesson, but it was a lesson well learned. Lord knows that's where I've learned most of my things, is in the pain from my own creation.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get past that emotional being, recognize what my own responsibility is in every situation. Where do I have responsibility in this? Then once we can start having that real talk with ourselves about, yes, emotions, I understand you're telling me this, but what did I do to get myself into this situation? Then once you get that answer, it's easier to get past your emotions. So that way you can get back to the business of putting one foot in front of the other. So that way you can do the things that you know that you should be doing already.
Amen.
So yeah, get the emotions in check. Hope says, walk in the spirit and not in the flesh. You do that by not living by your emotions. You have to be intentional.
Amen.
100%.
Hope.
100% hope. 100%.
Exactly. You ready?
Yep.
So this video is, wait, Stephen said something before we move on.
My dad told all of us, siblings, is that emo should always be the caboose, following at the end, not the lead.
I love that.
It's beautiful.
I
like
love
that. That's good.
I love that. So this video is from our very own home city. You ready?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, it's Glamham. Crazy updates on the sphere. Let's start here.
I'm gonna turn this big ball into a picture of my nipple.
But how could Ben of the Week do that?
You can pay to display anything you want on the Las Vegas Sphere. You just have to go up to this machine and pay $4,000. Just like that, it switched to my nipple. But I quickly realized that my nipple on a ball makes a boob.
And it does. This takes me to Gordon Ramsay's footage at the Sphere. Remember when I did those videos on the weird radar anomaly in Mexico? And I researched like crazy to match up that image, and it all pointed to magnetic flux, which took me to CERN. Then I overlaid the Aztec sunstone with the anomaly. And here's what that looked like. Let's see it again. So this thing's floating around in the visuals of the sphere. Let's see what other visuals are in the sphere. Ooh. Obviously incredible visuals, but is there more to them? Let's see what this lady has to say about the sphere.
It was owned by Vanguard and Madison Square Gardens in partnership with the Sands in Las Vegas, but was sold in January 2024 to Dolan. Then U2 did their performance there, which was all over TikTok about how demonic it was. Well, let me show you some more stuff.
Again, incredible visuals. I would literally have been freaked out if I was in Vegas and saw this.
And what I just showed you wasn't even bad. I'm fixing to show you more. This is a direct reference to Shiva. That's part of Anama's show.
This made me think, wait a minute, I just saw War Deadpool's video that he did after my video on the Mexican anomaly, and this is what he said.
Now it's time to go to CERN, and let me show you what's here in this slide. See, they love to tell you that the statue does not exist, but let me show you the statue of Shiva. Oh my gosh, is that what's there?
But back to the sphere. Oof. Yikes.
If you thought that was bad, you mean to show you some more?
Oh, don't you worry. I'm not going to leave you with those creepy bad vibes. By popular demand, here is another little healing with the perfect fifth harmonic. See you in the comments. Take care.
Thoughts, sir?
So, a little weird to say the least, but then again, I don't know. Even when I heard people talking about they're building this sphere, it's like,
I know.
it's like, wow, okay, joy.
Yeah,
There's
yay.
a ball
A ball.
with more lights. Who's ever seen anything with an excessive amount of lights on it in Las Vegas? Wow. So, yeah, it didn't mean much to me, but not a surprise. It looks like the sphere has been sold from that group and it belongs to somebody else. I was actually surprised because the Sands Corporation is owned by, what's his name? Adelson, the Adelson family.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, he's Israeli and Jewish and everything, but they always supported Trump. They seemed like they were white hat kind of people because Sheldon Adelson was always attacked by the mainstream media. They never liked him. And the hissy fits that the left threw when he bought the local newspaper, upset a lot of people. So I don't believe that the Adelsons really have much anything to do with that negativity. As a matter of fact, I think quite the opposite. I believe that the Adelsons are fighting for the right side. So, yeah, I don't think Sands has much anything to do with it other than they probably had something to do with the land beforehand, sold it off, made some money, and then that was about the end of that. But yeah, there's all sorts of weird things. They do all sorts of things here in Las Vegas. It's not like it's not like I mean, is anybody surprised that there's something that's not God-fearing in Las Vegas, or is it just me that's not surprised by that? I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
We live here.
Well, I mean, think about what Vegas is built off of.
What do you mean?
It's built off of the 7 deadly sins.
Well, yeah, there's that.
I mean, clearly greed, that just for starters, lust, wrath, with the pew pew ranges that are all over the place. I mean, it literally is gluttony. I'm just saying. I mean, it's
I
like
know.
There's good money in the 7 deadly sins. I'm not going to deny that.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know. All right. Just a thing.
Just a thing.
Just a thing. That's just how I see it. Could be wrong.
So Miss Jenny sent a video that she actually did.
All right. Jenny.
Yes, it is Sin City.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Ready?
It's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. So this is actually Jenny's video. Shout out to Jenny.
Woot, woot.
Let's take a look.
Oh, God.
Point it out, point it out. Can it be, can it be?
You
There we
see
go.
the similarities there?
How can you miss the similarities? Yeah, they're trying to embarrass these people.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling that that's part of the embarrassing bit to destroy people's reputation and character that they so carefully cultivated and kept out of the press. Now they're actually being shown for who they really are. And you know what? Mr. Hopeful Vice President, worthless governor, I
Piece of
am
crap.
gonna go out on a limb here and say, let your freak flag fly, man. I mean, if that's who you are, that's who you are. Good job.
Mhm.
Yay for you.
Exactly. Golf clap.
Yeah, golf clap.
You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read that down there at the bottom?
President Trump stopped by to drop off a present for birthday boy Liam.
And we're going to get more into this. There's a second video after this.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm supposed to be in that stage, but that doesn't matter. Because I got you the best president you'll ever have. It's the best president you'll ever have. How are you, Bob? Hi, Mom. Okay, honey, this is yours. And in there is real good stuff. Okay? So beautiful. See, look at that. Look at these great photographers. And we're gonna have that picture for life, okay? You and I. Is he gonna come out and watch me? Of course. Because I left the stage in order to come and say hello to him. Especially you are. Okay, honey? So beautiful. So you take care of Mom and Dad? Is that your sister, right?
Here, let's watch right here.
So why don't you do this? Take care of yourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go right after this.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, honey, okay? I wish I looked like that. If I looked like that, I'd be president.
Do you want to see the second video?
Yeah, let's go ahead and see the
Okay.
second video. Since you're local to the area, how lake levels, they've not been in feeds lately. Haven't heard anything about it, but we haven't had any like influx of water. So I'm going to say we're going to continue to dwindle until there's no more water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jenny says MSM doesn't show you this stuff. Trump does only. Blah, blah, blah. Let me try this again. The mainstream media doesn't show you this stuff that Trump does. They only talk bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what they do. But they're trying to create that narrative, and it clearly works for the mindless TV zombies.
Well, there's that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that.
Okay, Mouse. Are you ready?
Brains. Yeah.
Okay. Now this is part 2.
All right. Oh,
Did you guys
shipwreck.
catch the TikTok with Liam, the cute little 8-year-old boy who got a letter from President Trump for his birthday and he cried? And it was a really sweet video. Guess who showed up tonight at Donald Trump's rally in New York?
In that stage, but that doesn't matter. Because I got you the best president you'll ever have. This is the best president you'll ever have. How are you, Mom? Hi, Mom. Okay, honey, this is yours. And in there is real good stuff. Okay? So beautiful. Thank you. See, look at that. Look at these great photographers. And we're gonna have that picture for life, okay? You and I. Is he gonna come out and watch me? Of course. Because I left the stage in order to come and say hello to him. Especially you are. Okay, honey? So beautiful. So you take care of Mom and Dad? Is that your sister, right?
Here, let's watch right here.
So why don't you do this? Take care of yourselves. Okay, I'm gonna go right after this.
Thank you.
Take care of yourself, honey, okay? I wish I looked like that. If I looked like that, I'd be president.
I love a good news video. Trump is in New York and he's campaigning for his election to a massive crowd that had a little bit of drama this morning. So I don't know if you had heard, but there was a car out front and it had been found to have had explosives in it. And for a hot minute there, I didn't report on it because I didn't know. For a hot minute there, it looked like maybe a third had happened, right? I guess it turned out to be bunk that they were doing trainings. Police department was like, no, this is something else. Just a little confusion, maybe some miscommunication. He's got a massive crowd in New York, including little Liam and his family.
Yeah, I saw the original video. All he wanted for his birthday was a letter from Donald Trump. And
That's
he got
awesome.
it.
That's
And he
awesome.
just cried. It was just so heartwarming.
Hey, making dreams come true.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, it's.
I'd cry if I got a letter from Donald Trump. Shit.
I kind of figured as much. That would be really neat, though. This is clearly a man who has taken on some true evil in this world, and the evil has responded the way we would expect, and yet he continues on. And that is something that we can certainly rally around. And the fact that he is so gentle and he actually understands, he gets it right, whereas the Democratic Party gets wrong. You kiss the babies and shake the hands, and for some reason the Democrats think it's that you shake the babies and kiss the hands. But yeah, that's why we just don't get along with the Democrats, because, well, those swamp creatures really believe in kissing ass and, well, sadly, shaking babies.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, it was very precious.
Very much so. You ready?
Yeah.
There are so many anointed people out here that do not understand their purpose. See, your gifts and your talents is a building block to discover your purpose. And the best way for me to describe this is to go to the Word of God. And let's look at the life of Joseph. So Joseph, because of his anointing, he was rejected. Because of his anointing, he was placed in isolation. Because of his gift, he was placed in leadership. And he was placed in his purpose because of his gift. Joseph's gift was a point of access to his purpose. His gift was a doorway to his purpose. Once he got in his purpose, then a spouse, a wife was provided to Joseph. But that's a whole nother lesson. We'll get into that later. The season of isolation you're in is designed to be just a season. This is a season of consecration. This is the season that the wrong things get removed from your life. And it could look like people. It could look like bad habits. It could look like anything that's going to hinder you from your purpose. Your gifts and your talents is going to bring you into your purpose. Your purpose is going to be to advance the kingdom of God. Your purpose is to represent the kingdom of God everywhere you go. Your purpose is to let the world see the Jesus that's living in you.
Thoughts, sir?
Got to find our purpose and got to follow through with it. We all know this. We've read the book. We know what it's saying. It's saying that we got to find a purpose and that we got to follow through with it. And we can't be whining about it. The difficulties that we go through are supposed to be a season. The Israelites were only supposed to be wandering in the desert for a season. It didn't work out so well. Turned out to be 40 years. So what do? We focus on things other than ourselves. We focus on what it is we're actually supposed to be doing. And sometimes that can be difficult. But that's where the listening comes in. That's where listening to our intuitions and what we're supposed to, really be listening to. And that's the quiet voice. It's always the quiet voice.
It's
Peaceful,
not the
quiet
loud
voice.
voice.
It's not the loud voice.
That's the ego.
Yeah, that's the ego. Very true. Very true.
And you don't want to listen to that one. Most of the time, that one gets you in trouble.
Yeah, more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, more often than not.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You want to read that?
JD Vance says Kamala Harris is fundamentally a cog in the wheel of a very corrupt machine.
Let's listen.
Where you watch Kamala Harris give an interview. I mean, this is not a person who has like very well-developed views about what she wants to do in the world. She's fundamentally a cog in the wheel of a very corrupt machine. That scares the hell out of me when that person goes to negotiate with a world leader about a hot war. So, okay, we're talking about the substance. Okay, I know you're interested in the politics too. I don't know, like, if God forbid the Russia-Ukraine thing becomes a broader regional war, I don't know if that helps Kamala Harris or hurts her. I almost think it's like too grotesque to even think about, because hundreds of thousands and maybe more people would be dying. And I would just be terrified for the country and terrified for humanity.
Well, I couldn't agree more. Obviously, I agree with that vehemently. I only ask because I wonder if there's an incentive. I think they're desperate.
Yeah.
I think they worry that
absolutely,
if you guys get back in, that you're going to be a little less humorless and forgiving this time. A lot of people have committed very serious crimes against the United States. They're currently serving in government. Like they have, they're afraid of what happens if you win, and they should be. So, like, do they have an incentive to start a hot war? I guess that's my question.
Yeah, no, it's look, it's a totally fair question, and I don't know, because I don't know that it actually helps them, right? Because one of the things that, look, even President Trump's critics would have to admit, like, remember this, like I was a Trump critic back in 2016. Yeah. Of course, you remember this. The president remembers this very well.
What does he say to you
he
about
busts my balls about it all the time, and you hear these people who say, well, Trump and Biden are both too old for the presidency, and it's like, Trump's memory is like a steel trap. Trust me, I know, because he remembers what I said about him in September of 2015 to like an excruciating level of detail. But obviously, the president and I are like very simply, I changed my mind because he was a great president, right? Yeah. But remember, back then, the thing that they said about him is that he would start a nuclear war.
Oh, I remember.
Right. That was the main thing. That, all right, you've got this cowboy. He's going to start a nuclear war with Russia or China or somebody else. And even his critics admit that in hindsight, he was actually the president of peace. Now, of course, conflicts break out. Bad things happen. The president can't control everything, but he was remarkably good at using diplomatic leverage and the threat of American power to keep the world in a place of relative calm and stability. So if a hot war breaks out, my guess would be a lot of Americans would say, holy shit, we've got to get back to the guy who knows how to manage the world, not the person who's so incompetent that she blundered us into this conflict in the first place.
Thoughts?
Seems like something that they'd try to do on the way out the door. Oh, okay, well, we lost everything. We're going down in a ball of flames. Screw it. We'll just set the world on fire. We know they're going to try to do that. I have a feeling that Russia is going to be a little bit more savvy than the shenanigans that Russia already knows that they're going to try to pull, because they know that their days are numbered. Again, what does a cornered animal do?
Come out fighting.
Yeah, they're going to come out fighting. And even though that's because of their own design that they got cornered, they're going to try to set the world on fire. But I do believe that President Trump and President Putin and President Xi, I believe that they all have the same goal, and that is to get rid of the swamp creature that has taken over this planet and has caused problems far longer than it ever should have been allowed to. So that's why I believe that it won't be dragging all of us into a hot war, even though there's a lot of the members of NATO who will want to play along with that, because in the end, it's their ass too.
Exactly.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go ahead and read that.
JD Vance to Tucker. It's shocking how little we know about the guy who shot Donald Trump in the head.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, look, man, like, who knows, by the way, it's shocking how little we know about the guy who shot Donald Trump in the head. I mean, weeks later, months later, we still have no idea. We allegedly have no idea what the guy's real motive is. But do I think that they are going to do increasingly crazy things to try to prevent Donald Trump from becoming president? Yes. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I think we have to be prepared for it. And we just have to do everything we can to make sure he wins.
Last question, and it's to what you just said. Trump gets shot in front of everybody live on TV, and the media, bury it. But there's also, you would think, a process in place to find out what exactly was that.
Yeah.
Who was the person who did it? Why did he do it? Why was he allowed to do it? Is that process underway? I never hear Trump talk about it. I never hear you talk about it. Like, when are we going to find out what that was?
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why we don't talk about it that much is because we recognize that Kamala Harris runs the administration right now. And do we trust Kamala Harris's Department of Justice to really investigate this stuff? I mean, I don't. I don't think the president does either. But there needs to be a real investigation into this stuff. I think it's bizarre that we don't know anything about the guy's motive, though I've heard, various rumors. We don't really know anything about the guy's motive. I think there clearly were some very serious security breakdowns. Some of my colleagues in the Senate have done a good job of pointing this stuff out. But unless you have an administration that's willing to cooperate, you can't actually do this stuff. I think he'd be much better at sniffing out what's going on with all these security breakdowns. But I think so. Here's this should be actually a media scandal. Okay, so Kamala Harris is running against Donald Trump for president. Kamala Harris runs the government right now. And Donald Trump came within millimeters of having his life taken by a massive security breakdown. She should be using every lever of power to force insight and to force some sunlight into what's actually been going on here. What breakdown happened? The fact that she's totally uninterested in it, I think is a real scandal. Her political opponent nearly got killed, and she has not used her government to actually investigate why or what security breakdowns led to him almost getting killed. The media and everybody else should be really pissed off about this because she could be doing much more than she's doing right now.
But it suggests like a level of darkness that's hard for me to accept. I mean, what is that?
I mean, I don't know, right? Is it incompetence? Is it that she doesn't want to get to the bottom of it? Is it that if a story comes out that this guy was a left-wing radical, does it help Donald Trump? And so she wants to hide the motive? Like, there are so many different explanations here for what could be going on. But look, man, I'm a realist. Do I think that we're going to find out what actually happened in Bucks County, Pennsylvania before the election? No, I don't, because every incentive that exists in our government right now is to hide it, is to suppress it, is to lie about it, is to cover up for various people's failures. And because of that, look, man, I just don't think we're going to learn a whole lot about it. We're going to try. And my Senate, again, Ron Johnson's a great friend of mine, great Senate colleague, does a very good job. I know he is obsessed with trying to get to the bottom of the security failure. Like, how did a guy get with an AR-15 130 yards from the president, which, as you know, that's like a pot shot, right? That's a layup for an AR-15. It's shocking in some ways that President Trump didn't lose his life, but the fact that we're not more focused on the security breakdowns that led to that in the first place, look, man, it's bizarre, it's dark, and I think, unfortunately, we're not going to learn a whole lot about it until November.
And the problem is that, like so many American young people in their 20s, he had no social media profile whatsoever.
Yeah.
He never went online.
Never went online. Never went online and never said anything publicly. And everybody, he was basically a ghost.
Yeah.
A ghost who just so happened to nearly kill the future president of the United States. And yeah, man, it's pretty weird.
Thoughts, sir?
Is it me, or did it just seem like that was kind of a layup to everybody that, hey, these are kind of the things that you're going to be hearing about in the future in regards to what's going on?
I think so.
Because truly, Kamala Harris, the district attorney from California, right,
Mm-hmm.
who was there prosecuting all of those criminals and putting criminals behind bars
With the stroke of a pen.
with the stroke of a pen, and she's not doing anything to find out about her political opponent's attempted assassination when she's the one running for president now, because her running mate that was the actual president was incompetent, as if she didn't know.
Right.
So let me get this straight. A DA that doesn't care about prosecuting somebody who tried to assassinate the former president and running again president of the United States,
Future president.
future president of the United States, is saying that she should be president because of all of the tough on crime stance that she has?
Mm-hmm.
Or is she the one that's crime and it's tough for everybody else because of her?
Exactly. Hey, Steph.
Hey, Steph, what's going on?
Hope you enjoy your vacation.
Enjoy the vacation. Have a good time with that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Premonitional speaking for sure. Thank you, Bethany. That's a beautiful word. You get a gold star for the day.
A gold star, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was a lot of little things.
Yeah. There's a lot of little things. I do believe that that's what, again, premonitional speaking or predictive programming. It's
However
all
you
the same
wanna
thing.
word it.
All the same thing. And that's, it's just trying to get people ready for what we're going to see. And the left is going to be pissed when they find out. And they're going to be probably pissed at the right for prosecuting actual criminals as opposed to prosecuting fake criminals.
I know.
We'll see how that one turns out, won't
Yeah. You ready?
we? Yeah.
Want to read that?
JD Vance tells Tucker Carlson the polls are absolutely fake.
Let's go.
Who would have seen that?
Wisconsin was basically a tied election. So these guys use public polls, they use the media, not even just to manipulate public opinion, but to manipulate our leadership about what public opinion actually says.
So how does that happen? So those polls are fake, is what you're saying?
Oh, absolutely. They're fake. They're absolutely fake. And we see this, I mean, again, you know, this is like very nerdy, but let's like go down this polling rabbit hole. Okay. So I you know, a friend of mine, I think is the best pollster in America. Every race I've ever seen him poll, he's way better than anybody else. Okay. So good pollster versus a standard media pollster. Tony Fabrizio, great guy. He's the president's pollster. Okay. Take a standard media poll and ask yourself, like, what are they doing? Those polls are all conducted by what's called online panels. In other words, they have a group of people that they go to again and again and again. They ask their opinion. Well, who are the people who are going to respond aggressively to online panels about what they feel about every issue of the day? A bunch of highly engaged, typically far left, typically people with professional degrees, people who are not representative of the American people at large, right? Meanwhile, most Americans are trying to pay their mortgage and trying to take care of their kids and trying to do all the things that are necessary to live a life in this country. And they're not answering the phone when a pollster picks up. So if you actually look at the good pollsters, they're telling you a radically different story because they're talking to a representative sample of the United States. And the fake media pollsters are talking to a very narrow slice of the United States. And again, they're trying to sell us a story. And it's not just, again, it's not just, this is not primarily to manipulate the American people. I think it's to manipulate us, meaning elected officials, because I've sat in lunches with a number of my colleagues who will say, look at this poll and look how Americans are responding to this or that issue. And then you realize that that exact same poll was wildly inaccurate 2 years ago. Why are you making your judgments about what the American people believe based on some poll? And oh, by the way, why don't you express some leadership? Why don't you just actually have a view and go to the American people and try to persuade them that your view is wise and then enact legislation in accordance with that wisdom, right? Like that's how real leadership should work.
What's so deceptive, and I think what people don't realize is that a lot of these polls are designed not to measure opinion, but to shape it.
Yes.
So they are tools of influence.
100%. President Trump said this recently in an interview, where he said that the purpose of some of these polls that say, okay, you're down 17 points in Wisconsin. So say you're a Republican voter, you want to support Donald Trump and JD Vance. And of course, the polls now are much better for us than they were back in 2020. But let's say you want to support President Trump and you read a story that says he's down by 17 points in Wisconsin. Why even show up, right? So there's a voter suppression dynamic here where you try to get people to get depressed and to drop out of the democratic process. Don't even go and vote if the president is down by so much. The purpose of these polls is actually manipulation of both the public themselves, but also, of course, elected officials. And I think that we have to have the courage to trust our own convictions, to say, screw you, I don't buy the polls, and to do what you think is right on behalf of the country. Sounds so common sense, but a lot of elected leaders don't live in the world of common sense.
So you said at the outset that, you know, if the current trajectory continues, you're pretty confident you're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can never be sure, and you know, I've been wrong before, but I just look, the energy on the ground is really good, right? Yes. I mean, you know, we had an event yesterday in Arizona, and you know, we had a few thousand people there, and we didn't have a rock star or rapper there. We just had a few thousand people, and I'm the VP candidate. I'm not the presidential candidate. President Trump is getting 20,000 person crowds. I do think that crowd size is predictive of enthusiasm, and so you're seeing a lot of evidence that things are that our voters are enthused. The internal numbers are good. People aren't happy with the direction of the country. I feel like we're going to win, but yes, never know.
Everything you're saying makes sense. I think it's demonstrable.
Yeah.
But you got to think that the Kamala Harris campaign is also aware of this, that they're maybe not lying to themselves. They may be involved in fake polls designed to mislead, you know, others, but they are probably clear-eyed about their chances.
They are.
And I doubt that. I just have trouble believing they're just going to sit back and think, well, you know, Trump's tried hard. People kind of prefer him.
Yeah. Well, it's funny.
Like, what do you think could happen between now and election?
Yeah. Well, it's funny, man, because you know how this works, but I'll sort of give some insight into into this for your viewers and your listeners. Okay, so I have said publicly, I've been attacked by this from the left. I've said, look, Kamala's own internal polls are not very good right now. And of course, the lefties say, well, JD Vance is the VP candidate for Republicans. Nobody in Kamala Harris's campaign is talking to him. And that's right, by the way. Kamala Harris's campaign is not talking to me, but they are talking to journalists.
Yeah.
And then those journalists want insights into what's going on with the Republican ticket. They want to see our internal numbers. Yeah. And look, The journalists are telling me that Kamala Harris doesn't like her numbers. The journalists are telling me our campaign does like their numbers. There's a consistency of story here.
Journalists
but
act as kind of like it's an information.
they're like the intelligence operators, right? Like
Totally true. And in fact, some of them are working for intelligence operatives.
Yeah, journalists are to electoral politics what like the CIA is to international
totally
relations.
True. People think, just like in polling, they think, oh, polls are designed to measure what people think. Journalists are designed to report what happened. No. Journalists are players in the political system.
Yes.
And they do not disclose that to their readers, and you see it up close. But it's interesting. They play the role of kind of like covert diplomats between the
Yes, they do. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I mean, in 2016, what the journalists were telling you was Hillary Clinton's campaign is confident, but then some of them, like Bill Clinton, were very not confident.
Yeah.
And in 2020, they were saying nobody really knows what's going on. And in 2024, they're saying Kamala Harris is feeling a little bit rough about her chances. The Trump people are feeling good about their chances. Look, I think we're in a good spot, but you can't take this stuff for granted, right? And by the way, I think this goes in both ways, right? If you take 2 rows of a picture, you can get demotivated. If you take too pessimistic of a picture, you can get demotivated. Excuse me, we still have to do our job. We have to go out there, persuade voters. We have to go out there and knock on doors. If you're watching this and you want to get involved in the campaign, like go and do it. Go to donaldjtrump.com, volunteer, become a door knocker, because we actually can win this race. I think we will win this race, but not if we sit on our asses and don't get out there and work for it.
Thoughts?
Should we start with the eyeliner?
Go ahead.
Okay. Look, it's something that Nixon learned when he was debating Kennedy. And Nixon was sweaty. He looked older, whereas JFK Senior, JFK, when he was running, he actually went to the makeup section, and it made all the difference in the world. And ever since then, every politician that's been on TV has used some kind of makeup. And then a lot of them recognize that it makes like their eyes stand out, in which case, if you're a politician, you want people to, eyes are the windows to the soul. So you're going to try to take advantage of all these things. And meanwhile, all of this is being gone through while they're talking about people manipulating via the polls, right? We know that the polls are used against the people to, just like JD Vance was saying, to dishearten voters, to keep them from wanting to go to vote. Either get too confident that they don't have to go, or to make them despondent so they feel like, what's the point of me even going? And so really the important thing out of all of this, despite all of the eyeliner and makeup for television discussion that was going on, the important part is making sure that we're getting out there and actually going to do the voting, regardless of what the polls say, because polls can be easily manipulated, just like JD Vance was talking about there when he said that they use the same online people over and over again. And that's exactly how we got to the whole Dewey defeats Truman bit. The press was trying to lead back then. They were trying to show that, hey, look, there's no reason to go vote for Truman. Dewey's already got it. It's in the bag. Don't even bother. It's fine. It's fine. But yet, look, we got Truman. Clearly, Truman wasn't the guy that they wanted. That's why that they were pressing Dewey so bad. But the thing is it's not over until the votes are all counted. And we know that they're going to try to do some shenanigans with the votes, but I do believe that everything is being watched closely. And I do believe that this is part of that sting operation that we all know about already from the whole Q drops. So just stay calm and do your part. That's the best thing you can do. Go out and do your part. What's your part? Go out and vote. Try to get other people to get out and vote. Be active in, the process of your own governance. I mean, it might be important for a change.
Might?
Just maybe. I don't know. I'm not trying to be hostile.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
I bet you God's got bigger dreams than you're living right now. And I bet you all of us are living a little bit beneath our capacity, spiritually speaking. I mean, everybody here cares about mental health and emotional health, but truthfully, spiritual health determines both of those. And spiritually, you're dark. Like there's guilt and shame, and you can't get to that. It's on the inside, dude. It became a part of who you are. You did that. You really did that. And you can't undo it. but it can be wiped clean. But I can't wipe that clean. Neither can you. That's a conscience thing, man. That's a soul thing. That's a heart thing, and only God can give that to you.
Thoughts, sir?
Oh, that was beautiful. It's what we're really here to be working on is our soul. And we may have lost parts and pieces of it as we've gone through in life. And not because of the things we've necessarily done, but the things that happen in our life. We lose little pieces of our soul all over the place. That's kind of one of the problems. That's why people build up these walls to protect themselves from really, in the end, this pretty garbage world that we're surrounded by, where everybody's just worried about themselves and willing to destroy anybody and everybody, so that way they think that they can make their way to the top until they find out what it's really about, and then it's too late at that point in time. So what do? We don't have any control over our own salvation. The only thing that we do towards our own salvation is the sin that we did to need salvation from. So therefore, we must focus on making sure that we don't do that again, so that way that salvation will stick, and we will know it changes, that our lot changes because our heart changes, and we will know by the fruits of the labor that we do put out there, in terms of how where our status is, I guess we could say.
Yeah.
It's the fruits of
Absolutely.
your labor. And if you don't like the fruits that you're seeing out of yourself, well, then keep trying to clean it up and make sure that, we're working on cleaning our souls.
Yeah. And you know what? You do need to take care of your soul.
Nice.
You really do.
We do have to.
Yeah.
Not you, Stephen. I mean, everybody in general.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, this video, this explains what California's problem is, because they elected this person. Are you ready?
Does nobody know what their problem is?
Oh, there's people out there. Well, people in California don't know. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You're a pussy. Get the fuck out of here, you little bitch. Get out of here, you little bitch. You're a pussy. You're a pussy. You're a piece of crap. Get out of here right now. Get out of here. We're having an event. Idiot.
We are having an event.
Idiot.
We're having an event
Idiot.
here.
Idiot.
I'm gonna talk about
Idiot.
it. Okay.
Idiot. Idiot.
Stop pushing.
Idiot. 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 Get out of here.
Look at you spit on me. You look very sane. You look very. This is a very sane person right there. Hey, let's talk about your corruption. Why aren't you
Get out of here.
corruption? This is the Palms Neighborhood Council. Very sane people. To your political enemy.
Is anybody surprised that this is coming from California? A California elected official. His name is Kyle McCauley, and he's a councilman from California. Is anybody surprised that this is coming from California out of all states out there? Because I, for one, I'm not surprised. Like, this is pure comedy. And then you wonder that people are acting the way they are acting, and you wonder how things can happen the way that they are happening in California. Why? Because you're electing people like this. That's why.
Thoughts? Because I like Darren's comment.
Yeah, I had a nephew that behaved like that, and then he turned 6.
Yeah. And then mine, so mature.
Yeah, that's great. You know what? Look, dude was in the guy's face. I know he got spat on with all of his little crap that he was doing.
Yeah.
Poke him right in the eyes. Just get out of my face. You're in my space and you're spitting on me. I take that as a biological attack.
Yeah.
Right in the eye. Just a Larry Moe, just like Mo. Just pop him right in the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe give him the whoop, 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 whoop. Chachi says, I'm an only child, but if that was my little brother, I'd beat his ass. Yeah, so would I.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine a
A grown man? Do we use
Yeah.
that word? Is
I
that
don't
acceptable?
know if he's
I mean, I'd
grown.
hate to
I
assume
don't know if
anybody's
he's-
gender.
I don't know if he's grown or a man.
Well, yeah, I don't want to assume anybody's gender, but what appeared to supposed to be a grown ass man was acting like a giant titty baby, and I have no idea what his problem is. But he certainly shouldn't be able to be some kind of elected official. But I think that this shows that we're going to end up getting to a real conversation about mental health in this nation.
Yeah.
Tracy says, I like him. I've seen him, and on Talk Live, so many Democrats attack him.
Talking about the TikToker.
Yeah,
Not-
I didn't think she was talking about you weren't talking about the California representative, were you?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. TDS.
I think that's just the DS, derangement syndrome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that we have devolved
That.
acting like a bearded biatch.
Oh my goodness.
I literally don't see how that can. How have we devolved to this point? Rome has fallen, folks. It's over. It's over. I don't even know if there's coming back from this anymore.
Don't. Are you ready?
Yeah, where are we going?
Read. Down here.
Babylon B. Oh God, here we go. Releases gruesome Newsom video that is totally real and definitely not a deep fake.
Are you ready?
I guess.
Entertainment purposes only, people.
Clearly.
Hi, I'm Gavin Newsom, the governor of California. This is a message for the people of America, given in my authentically recorded, non-AI voice. Thanks to my leadership over the last several years, California has become a world leader in extremist left-wing governance. My policies were so effective that almost 1 million people are now fleeing the state every year. We even ran out of U-Hauls. During the COVID pandemic, I locked everyone in their homes and shut down businesses for months. Not the French Laundry, though. That's my favorite restaurant. Last year, I cleaned up the dangerous, messy streets of San Francisco, because Chinese Communist President Xi was coming, and I really wanted to impress him. He's my boss, after all. This year, I signed legislation that allows me to take custody of your kid if you refuse to give him artificial hormones and chop off his genitals. Because if you don't do that, you're a bigot, and bigots shouldn't be allowed to have kids. I've also led the way in green energy by banning all cars that don't run on electricity. Then I banned almost all the electricity. This is smart leadership. On my watch, the cost of living and homelessness have skyrocketed. Schools are failing. Drug dealers and human traffickers are pouring across the border. And poop has covered the sidewalks of San Francisco. This is the positive, joyful vision we offer as Democrats. That's why I'm enthusiastically endorsing Kamala Harris for president in 2024. She'll do to the country everything I did in California. Anyway, I'm California Governor Gavin Newsom, and I approve this 100% real message, which is a recording of my voice without the assistance of any AI whatsoever. This isn't a deep fake, and you can rest assured that it isn't, because I just signed an unconstitutional law outlawing deep fakes. No one would dare violate it. Thank you, and science bless America.
Oh, sir.
Is it parody or is it reality?
Right?
That sounds like something that I would expect to come out of Gavin Newsom's face.
I know.
But then again, it came from the Babylon Bee. But my God, Babylon Bee really is skirting the line between satire and reality, and it gets more and more difficult every day. Now, granted, this one was a little bit easier to tell as satire, but it's sad because so many things the Babylon Bee has had to do really shouldn't be funny. It was kind of like who's the red Awaken with JP?
Yes.
Yeah, JP Sears. Yeah, he was doing satire, and then it just sounded too much like the news.
I know. Exactly.
What a time. Yeah, what a time we're in. Nancy Pelosi's nephew.
Yep.
Oh, is that what he is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I haven't heard that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Science Bless America. That was a pretty good one. I like that one
Yeah.
too. That got me a good chuckle.
Yeah, I know. You ready?
Yeah.
Here, you want to read that, please?
Shock report. 20 attending Trump Tucson rally sent to ER with mysterious injury to their eyes.
You ready?
Yeah.
Supporters of former President Donald Trump that were allowed to sit behind his stage at his Tucson rally last week tell the News 4 Tucson investigators they left with mysterious injuries to their eyes. News 4 Tucson's chief investigative reporter Course Nylander is live outside the Tucson Music Hall downtown. Course, what are we learning about their situation?
Yeah, well, Monica, this is where thousands of people came out to hear former President Donald Trump speak last week. There was a group of 48 people allowed to sit on stage behind Trump throughout the event. They were split into two groups on each side of the stage. One side seemed to walk away without any issues, but multiple people seated near each other on the other side tell me that they had to go to the emergency room after they left the event. Here tonight, for the first time, the Trump campaign is confirming that they're investigating this situation.
No taxes on Social Security benefits for our seniors.
More than 2,000 people filled up the Tucson Music Hall Thursday to hear Donald Trump's first speech in Tucson this campaign as Election Day nears. Some of his biggest supporters were allowed to sit behind him on stage. Supporters like Mayra Rodriguez, a former director of Planned Parenthood with a notable shift to being pro-life. In 2016, she sat behind presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on stage at an event. Now she supports Donald Trump. She enjoyed the rally, but once she left, everything changed.
As soon as we left and I stepped outside, I started feeling like my eyes were burning.
At first, she thought it might be allergies. She lives near Phoenix. By the time she got home, it was so bad she decided to go to the emergency room.
The emergency room staff keeps saying, from the triage nurse to the PA, and are you sure you don't get spray anything? Your symptoms look like you were sprayed something.
The News 4 Tucson investigators spoke to her the morning after the rally, Friday last week. That morning, she was nearly blind.
I can't see anything. When I try to open my eyes, it's like a white cloud covered. It hurts. It hurts a lot to open my eyes. I have this cold cloth that I put on and I take off all the time. But this is horrible.
She says the doctors weren't able to determine what exactly caused it. Her initial thought of allergies went out the window when she heard from several others seated next to her at the rally that also ended up seeking medical attention with the same symptoms.
Kept getting worse and worse. My eyes started watering a lot. My nose started running. Then I started feeling my face get really flushed, and then my neck felt like it was on fire. And it just progressed from there.
This Tucson woman, who doesn't want to be identified, was seated in the same area behind Trump with her brother. Both walked away with eye injuries and sought medical attention.
I was all focused on my eyes. I mean, my eyes were red like hell, I mean, it's like, it's just like unbearable. You just couldn't, I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it.
Whatever caused it seems to be isolated to the group seated on stage right. Former Congressional District 6 candidate Kathleen Wynne was seated on the opposite side of the stage and says she and everyone she knows seated near her walked away without any issues.
We hope that there's no nefarious actors in this and that this is not a strategic hit for those that are supporting Donald Trump.
Mayra reported her injuries to the Trump campaign and says she was told it was being investigated. Mayra feels it's crucial for people to be made aware of what happened and what could have caused her injuries.
Obviously, what I would like is an investigation, right? That this does not get away with it.
I want to be very clear. We do not know at this point if a person caused any of this or what exactly the cause could be. We can only speculate at this point, but that apparently is what the Trump campaign is trying to get to the bottom to at this point. Less than an hour ago, the Trump campaign senior advisor Danielle Alvarez sent us a statement reading, quote, "The Trump campaign has been collecting information. We remain committed to the countless patriots that attend our high-energy, high-impact rallies across the country." I did also speak with the United States Secret Service. They tell me they were not informed of any of this and only learned about it when I called them, but they said there was no known threat to President Trump during his event here in Tucson last week. We'll update you as we get more information on this situation. We're live from downtown Tucson tonight. Course Nylander, News 4 Tucson.
Course, thank you for that update.
Thoughts, sir?
Secret Service didn't know anything, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Why am I having a hard time believing that? Anyways, I'm sure that they just don't talk about ongoing investigations, whatever. So, how weird is this? This is not something that's normal. This is not something that people generally complain about. We didn't have any problems when we went to a rally, but we also know that there's less than lethal weapons out there, and this would certainly fall under that category. So what are they trying to do? Obviously, trying to hurt people.
Yeah.
To the left side of Trump tells me that the directed energy weapon. It would be a directed energy weapon if they're using some kind of infrared to blind people. Even a laser could be a directed energy weapon, one that doesn't, even burn anything, something that just burns cornea or something like that. Directed energy weapon. So was this a directed energy weapon? How do you find out about a directed energy weapon attack? Well, it looks like it's a line of sight kind of thing. It hit everybody on the left-hand side, which tells me that from the viewer looking at Trump, that the person was over on the right-hand side. That's why the people that were over to President Trump's left or on the right side of the stage didn't have anything happen to them. So the investigation for something like this, I do believe that the Trump team is investigating this. I do believe that people are looking at it. I believe that we're not going to hear much anything about it until the dust is settled after it's all said and done. But these are things to keep in mind. If you feel like you are getting dazzled, then it is time, a dazzling light inside your eyes. Close them and try to find a way out. Turn away. That's the thing about a light is it only comes from one direction. So it's a rather easy thing to try to overcome, especially just by closing your eyes and turning around and then vacating the area and putting something in between you and that source of light. But it's one more thing that we have to be aware of, as if the exploding phones and everything like that weren't enough. Now we got to worry about invisible laser beams.
I know.
So, yeah.
You're
Bill
right.
says, it's going to keep getting darker as we move towards November. The attacks and treason will be seen like they're happening everywhere. I believe that, sadly. I do believe that.
F. Clint thinks it was farts.
Some pretty bad ones, F. Clint. Beefy burrito. Yeah, could be. Yeah, you never. I know what he's. There you go. The left blatant attacks people on the streets. Why not covertly at rallies? Not a stretch given their less than human behaviors and rhetoric. Yeah. They don't care about people. And then they wonder why we don't want to vote for them.
I know.
There's Jenny. Wow, Jenny. Jenny says there's been threats here at some kids at the schools.
That's sad.
Leave the freaking kids out of it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's yeah. Okay. Yeah. All
Oh,
right.
we have Christian.
Yep. There we go. All
You
right.
ready?
We could use some Christian.
Let's go.
All right. Let's do this.
Maybe I need a refresher, but I'm just trying to figure out what kind of work Puff Daddy was doing again.
There you go, y'all. Thank you. And I just want to say how much I appreciate Puff Daddy for doing the kinds of work that he's doing, because he doesn't have to do this. But this is part of what is important about giving back.
We applaud you, and I want to apologize for not sweating, but I do this so much. I'm so cool. I just want y'all to see everybody I'm interviewing is sweating. I'm not even touching my brow. I'm so cool, and I want to apologize. I ain't trying to make you look bad or nothing like that, but I'm just so cool. We
T-shirt. I tell you, if he was wearing one of those fancy designer clothes he's designing, he'd be sweating just like me.
You know, I just could have sworn that I read an email, a leaked email off of Anthony Weiner's laptop quite some years ago between Hillary Clinton and Huma Abedin discussing Obama of using a 5-year-old Russian boy in the wrong place and not the designated place, if you catch my drift. And they wonder why people like this guy are winning.
And God has now spared my life. It must have been God. Thank you. Not once, but twice. And there are those that say he did it because Trump is going to turn this state around. He's going to turn this country around. He's going to make America great again. And maybe and we're going to bring back religion into our country.
Thoughts, sir?
Let's see. So the corruption between Diddy and Obama, and then the other clips where Obama says Diddy throws what, the best parties or something like that. He was basically promoting it. And then the 5-year-old Russian boy that Christian was bringing up, all of these things are coming together, and it's just slow. It's a drip, 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 drip. But those drips are going to add up to a flood coming here very soon. And if it wasn't for people like Christian who were getting these little drips of information out there, the drips of truth, it would make it so much more difficult for everybody to even comprehend what's going on around them when people find out what was really going on in Epstein Island. So, this is why we need people like Christian out there who are getting that information out, who really see the tiniest of details. They're able to recall it in an instant, and they're able to share it at the most opportune time. And this is something that we should be truly grateful for, is that there are people, so many people out there like that are spreading this information. So that way, once the curtain call actually comes, and once the dominoes actually start to fall, everybody's going to be prepared, because they will have already heard at least something about it before the real flood of information comes out, and all of it comes out in once. And then that's when we're going to be left behind, trying to help everybody else figure out what they've truly been blind to their whole lives.
Exactly.
Bethany Chop says, thank you, Sharon. Thank you for sharing. Bethany Chop says, what hallways or passages do only the victim share? It's nearly random, but a bottleneck shared could be the reason. I think that the bottlenecks are going to be exposed. I think that by exposing the bottlenecks at this point in time, it would make it more difficult to do the actual deep investigation and operation that's going on right now. So I think that certainly some things are being hidden, but that's being done to ensure success of the operation, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, I hope so.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
You want to read that real quick?
Yes, we want to imagine what that would look like, comrade.
Ready?
God. Yes.
Now they have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. Imagine what that would look like and what that would be.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Thoughts?
God, imagine what that would look like. A mass deportation. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine what that would do for America? Or what it would do to America? Oh my God, the humanity. American citizens would actually be able to get jobs and not have to compete for people that want to take half of what the American citizen would have been getting otherwise. And we might get higher quality out of it.
I know.
Wow. And the employers might actually have to care about their employees.
I know, right?
Oh God. And then the landlords, they might not actually be able to screw everybody over by taking federal funds from illegal immigrants and jacking up the rents on everybody for no reason other than the fact that they're greedy pieces of shit. Wow, Kamala, thank you for pointing that out. I really enjoyed this trip down what I look forward to when you're finally out of office.
Yeah.
That would be justice. That would be justice.
Hey, Carol, I hope
Hey,
you're
Carol.
sleeping.
Carol says, I've been listening this whole time. Well, thank you very much. Just been trying to get my grandson to sleep. Oh, Lord have mercy. I hear whiskey works.
He is savage,
Probably.
Jenny.
Probably not. Yeah. Who's savage?
Trump.
He is savage.
I love it. So is JD.
He is. They're a lot of fun.
They are. Are you ready?
Yep.
God's timing is perfect, and you are right where you need to be. Sometimes we may feel impatient or uncertain about our current circumstances, wondering why things aren't happening according to our plans. But God sees the bigger picture. In His infinite wisdom, God orchestrates every detail of our lives. He knows the right time for things to unfold, and he works all things together for our good, even when we can't see it. He is at work behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, opening doors, and preparing us for what lies ahead. When we trust in God's timing, we can find peace and contentment in the present moment. We can rest assured that He has a purpose and a plan for our lives. As we seek His guidance and surrender to His will, He will lead us on the right path and guide our steps. Remember, God's timing is not our timing, and His ways are higher than our ways. So, instead of striving or becoming discouraged, let us embrace the journey, knowing that God is using every season and every experience to shape us and fulfill His purposes. Trust in His faithfulness, lean not on your own understanding, and believe that you are right where you need to be. He has incredible things in store for your life. Amen. Drop an A. He has
Thoughts?
Got to get out of our own way. And the only way we can do that is to recognize that our plans don't work. I don't know. We've talked about this quite a bit around here. But at the same time, it's something that is very challenging to want to let go of the reins. It's hard to just,
As humans,
as humans, to put your faith in God, really, in the end. I mean, it sounds bad, but really, isn't that the struggle? Saying, I have no control over this situation, and I completely leave it up to you. It's not an easy thing to do. It's not some simple task. And so it can be challenging and frightening, and it can feel like everything's going to go wrong. But then again, how many of us have tried with every fiber of our being, and all of our plans absolutely failed? Because, well, I know that happened in my case, but I firmly believe that had everything to do with the fact that I didn't have faith in God. And so it's one of those things that I'm kind of learning as I move forward in life. Aaron says, plans are what people make while life happens. Yeah, boy, that's true. And it is difficult. It's very difficult. Hey, Ange.
Hey, Ange.
Thanks for joining.
You ready?
There was something else I wanted to say too, but I just don't remember what it was. So yeah, we should just go ahead and drive on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Merrick Garland is a POS.
Are you sure?
Yep. Listen, you'll understand.
All right.
So the Attorney General Merrick Garland just vetoed charging Ryan Ruth with attempted assassination. So I want you to think about what the thought process of Merrick Garland must be. He must somehow think that this man was in that bush on that golf course for some other reason. Even though this man, Ryan Ruth, has actually written and published a book where he calls for the assassination of Donald Trump. This man then went and camped out in a bush on Donald Trump's golf course for more than 12 hours with body armor and a fully loaded SKS. Like, sure, the rifle you could explain away, but the body armor, you only have body armor if you expect for rounds to be fired at you. And I don't know any animals he'd be hunting with opposable thumbs, so I can only surmise that he was worried about people shooting at him. So there he was, camped out in a bush on Donald Trump's golf course, waiting on the 6th hole, while Donald Trump was on the 5th hole, minutes away from being within range of him. And thankfully, the Secret Service was able to notice the barrel of his rifle sticking out of that bush. And then they opened fire, he fled, and he was eventually apprehended. But to not charge him with attempted assassination, that means that Merrick Garland has found some reason to think that Ryan Ruth was there for some other reason, wearing body armor and carrying a fully loaded rifle. I'm just curious, what other reason could that be? What other reason could a man who's written and published a book calling for Donald Trump's assassination, wearing body armor with a fully loaded rifle, hiding in a bush on Trump's golf course in a spot where Trump was going to be within a couple minutes, what other reason did he have to be there? Like, somebody give me something. I'd love to hear Merrick Garland tell us why he thought Ryan Ruth was there. Because to not charge him with attempted assassination, that means that Merrick Garland thinks there is another good reason he was there, other than to take a shot at Donald Trump. I'm just curious what that reason could possibly be.
Thoughts?
Who doesn't go hang out in the bushes outside of a golf course with an assault weapon? I mean, don't we do that frequently?
No.
This looks like a great golf course to hang out with my assault weapons. Wow.
We don't have any of those anymore. Remember the boating accident?
Well, whatever. Anyways, what bill of goods are they trying to sell us?
Mm-hmm.
Because I ain't buying it.
I know.
They're only showing their corruption. Again, it's a movie. I think we switched to kettle corn, right? Because we're
Yes,
sick
we
of
did.
regular buttered popcorn.
No, it wasn't a AK.
No, it turned out to be an SKSF, Glenn.
Yeah.
And again, exactly, Ange, it points to central casting. It points to the corruption that is the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly, again, it's not all of the Department of Justice. It's individuals. I understand, because there are good individuals still in the DOJ. We can't forget that. And those are the people that are really busy right now trying to find all these corrupt POSs.
Mhm.
Some of them are more impaired than others. And I would be willing to venture a guess at this point in time that if Merrick Garland was part of central casting and this is what he was doing, wouldn't it make sense that this would be an effort to try to, I don't want to say entrap, but to encourage those who would do things illegally to go ahead and do those things to cover their own ass, as kind of like a double cross. That's how you find out the minions. And we've said this before here on more than one occasion. You can't just cut off the head, because a new head will rise out of it, like Hercules and the Hydra. You know, he cut off one of the Hydra's heads and then two grew up in its place. And that's the problem. So what do you have to do? You have to find and snuff out each and every part of the problem that's there. And that's how it's done. This is how you find out who the bad guys are, is you have the head bad guy, you take him out, you put a puppet in that place, and then you encourage the other fools to keep doing stupid stuff. Why? So that way they get caught. They feel brave. They feel emboldened. They've been able to get away with all of these things up to this point in time. So why would it be any different now? Just because there's some random, LARP on 4chan talking about Q. None of that's real. Meanwhile, the people that are taken out from it are the ones saying it's not real. Therefore, trapping those who were working for the problems to begin with. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. But I do firmly believe that this is to clean house.
I do too.
That's the best I got. Otherwise, it's going to be really ugly.
I know. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You want to read that, please?
Here's a good argument for moms to vote for Trump.
Ready?
Yes.
You know intrinsically that something is not right with our food system. These experts are bought and paid for from every direction, and they are currently allowed to help shape and create public policy that affects you and I. What's even more disturbing is that the American Academy of Pediatrics claims it's mean to tell parents to not feed kids ultra-processed food, but at the same time, they want taxpayer-funded Ozempic given to obese teens. America cannot have high-achieving students if they can't sit still because of the artificial food dyes and lack of nutrition served from a government school lunch. America cannot continue to be bankrupt by rising healthcare costs that it's causing itself. America cannot ask parents to make healthier choices if the choices are rigged. If you are in this crowd today and you're struggling to vote because you don't feel right voting for Donald Trump, feel right about voting for an administration who will end subsidized ultra-processed food, feel right about voting for an administration who believes it's wrong to keep patients sick in order to create lifelong customers, and feel right about voting for an administration who will work with RFK Jr. to get chemicals out of our food, water, and air. If you want a chance at solving these issues, Trump has to be in office. So women on the left, in the middle, and on the right, America's children need us.
Well, sir.
America's children definitely need all of us. But it's the moms, which has been a job title that has been minimized for as far as I can remember at this point, other than Leave It to Beaver reruns when I was a kid. But other than that, moms has been being a mom is something that's been, looked down upon. They tried to give it fancy names like what was it?
Domestic goddess.
Domestic god. Well, it started out as domestic engineer, and then it went to domestic goddess, and then after that, it's we don't even know what a woman is anymore.
Exactly.
So we need women. We need women and moms to stand up and say, no, we're not putting this crap in our kids anymore. And it's easier now that RFK Jr. has endorsed Trump.
Yes.
Because we know that he's going to be the one going after these big pharma.
Mm-hmm.
And I look forward to that day because I know he's going to be just a rabid pit bull going after big pharma like a boss. And it's going to be glorious to watch. But we got to watch out for our kids' health. And medicine needs to be more medical. The care needs to be put back in the health care industry.
1,000%.
And doctors need to recognize that the job is important, not them. Something to keep in mind. Aaron says over 1,000 things that have zero business being in food that are legal in the U.S. are illegal in other countries and even third world countries. 100%. Absolute fact.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting more and more difficult to find tobacco that doesn't say not for export.
I know.
That's not encouraging.
No, not at all.
Nope.
No.
Whatever. Gee, Wally. And we know you are, Jenny, and you're an amazing one because you're out there fighting the good fight every single day, regardless of what it could mean. You're making sure that it's being done right. So, yeah, shout out to all of y'all.
Yeah.
Aaron says doctors and nurses have become sociopaths and pharma pushers. I know that there's some that aren't, but wow, it's really getting more and more difficult to not see it that way. Not our fault. Not because I bring a light to it, but because of the way the medical industry, specifically doctors, have been acting for so long.
Exactly.
Sure would like to know what a real doctor is. They all need to go watch Doc Hollywood.
Exactly.
Just an idea.
You ready?
Yeah.
You want to read this, please?
Here's why election officials in Luzerne County, Pennsylvania have banned all mail-in ballot drop boxes.
Let's listen.
Let's see it.
Tonight, concerns again at the drop box.
A Luzerne County election official reported someone trying to drop off multiple ballots. Williams says a woman tried to put 4 mail-in ballots in the drop box at Penn Place while Director of Elections Michael Susik and another employee were emptying it. Susik, who reported the incident, says he explained that she could only drop off her own ballot unless she had the signed affidavit to drop off one other person's if they are unable. One other person's. She didn't have it, and she said she didn't have time to go to the election office to get one. Susik reported the woman started to walk away, but turned around, threw all 4 into the bag, and immediately left. Susik was able to separate the 4 ballots, which are being held in a secure location.
Thoughts?
Sure would be nice to feel that, I don't know, that they're going to get the fingerprints off of there and do all of the investigation and pull the video because it looked like there was a government office behind that glass window. And I'd like to think that the cameras and all of these things are going to be done to figure out who's trying to steal our nation away from us. It didn't happen the last election, but just hold out hope that all of these things are being watched. And I do believe that, but sometimes it does get a little bit wearing. So we just gotta, point out the things that we see. And the other benefit is that we're actually hearing about it, whereas they weren't even talking about it. The press was last election, they were talking about.
They were suppressing everything.
They were suppressing
Most
everything.
secure election ever.
They were mocking people who pointed out things like this. So the fact that the communications coming from the legacy media have changed tremendously should be an indicator to us that we should take heart that things really are changing, and that things just, aren't going to be like they were before. Chachi says, should have arrested her on the spot. I agree, but I also think that just like when they got the cell phone data, that they would have just known time tag and, how to find that individual a little bit more. I think that sometimes they don't act on stuff like that just because, kind of like a honeypot. Oh, look, you can have all these things. Don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. And then they find out after it's a little bit too late that, they were just getting used to capture more and more.
Yeah, exactly. You ready?
Yeah.
So, Miss Bethany Ann found this. This is the U.S. debt clock update. Trump Bitcoin payment. This is going to be biblical.
Is this the one that was yesterday? I wanted to talk about this one. I had it up.
And this is for entertainment purposes only.
Oh, whatever.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys. Okay, so I knew there was more to this debt clock message. I usually don't do this while I'm working, but this one couldn't wait. I'm doing this on my break. We've got this key on the US debt clock, right? And it's pointing to the 6. And yesterday during my decode, I pointed out that Trump was the first president to make a payment in Bitcoin. Yesterday, okay, that was September 18th. And we had all of these fraud comms. See, there's more fraud comms at this bar, right? So I'm thinking, what is the name of this bar? Why is it so important that he makes this transaction at this specific bar? So I asked Grok, and the bar is named PubKey. We've got the key at the 6 o'clock. And the time that Trump initiated this transaction in Bitcoin was exactly at 4:44 p.m. Timing is important, so I'm thinking, okay, what is the meaning of this 444 and why was it so important that Trump makes this transaction at 4:44 p.m.? Timing is important, right? So I looked up the meaning, the biblical meaning of 444. It went through a whole breakdown, but I'm not going to go through all of that. I don't have time. But it says Jesus's entire ministry lasted 44 months and 4 days for a total of 444. And I'm thinking, okay, what is 44 months in today's time? What is the equivalent to that? Which 44 months is equivalent to 3 years and 8 months. So I'm thinking 3 years and 8 months sounds like almost the point where we're at when Biden began his presidency. So I asked Grok, what date would it be 44 months and 4 days after Biden's inauguration, which was January 20th, 2021. And the date is September 24th, 2024. The debt clock posted this post, time's up, expired, banking cartels done, and this clock and the key pointing to 6 o'clock, or at least just pointing to the 6. I don't see any other hands on the clock, just the key is pointing to the 6. They posted this on the 18th, which was yesterday, September 18th. And 6 days from September 18th is September 24th. So applying Jesus's ministry, right? And thinking, okay, Trump has supposedly been the second president since Biden's inauguration, which 444 days after that is September 24th, 2024. Which is 6 days from the day the debt clock posted that the debt clock message with the key pointing to the 6. Trump specifically made this payment on that day, the same day on the 18th, the first president to make a Bitcoin transaction at the bar named PubKey. So what is the significance of September 24th? I'm bringing up this post again, okay, because it said to track events September 14th through the 18th, and then again, the 21st through the 25th, which includes the 24th. And if you put into perspective Kim Clement's prophecy about a Supreme Court decision in favor of the saints of the Most High God, which would provide a portion of the kingdom of God that we're due at this time.
A judgment will be made by the Supreme Justice in favor of the saints of the Most High God, that they'll not only receive, but they will possess the kingdom. What it means is you'll possess the portion that is due to you at this time.
So in order for that to happen, Trump would have to be placed into office effective immediately, and that would never happen under Kamala. So what is the Supreme Court decision that would be in favor of the saints of the Most High God? The case involving the 4 Mormon trumpet players, that's their name right there, and their Supreme Court case that would place Trump in office effective immediately because of the fraud that occurred in the 2020 elections. Again, they are Mormon, and the name of the church is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. A Supreme Court decision would be made in favor of the saints of the Most High God and their trumpet players. I'm not saying this is going to happen, you guys. By the way, entertainment purposes only. This is all a conspiracy. Please don't take my video down. This is just a conspiracy. I'm not saying this is actually happening. But anyway, moving forward, 9/24/24. You guys think about it. We'll see if anything happens. If anything doesn't happen that date, we still have things that are pretty interesting going on throughout October. So I'll keep you guys updated.
Thoughts, sir?
There's a lot of interesting stuff going on there. There's a lot of moving parts. God, there's so much going on there. I don't really know how to take that. I'm actually kind of at a loss for words, that one. I know everybody's shocked about that. It's, yeah, Too Late Lady, hell of a date fag right there. Yeah, it is. That's kind of what it seems like, but we also shouldn't keep people from at least trying to make predictions at the same time. I've been following the Brunsons, and I've been excited about that. And, we were encouraging people to fill out the letter and send it in. Don't even have to spend money, or you could, go to the Lloyd Brunson page. And I know Lloyd Brunson's fine, but he's been getting smacked down every single time with all of the stuff he's doing. And I'm not seeing the movement forward. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have some movement forward, but I'm pretty sure that there is going to be a Supreme Court thing going on. But there were a lot of things that Kim Clement said that we're still waiting to happen in regards to the Supreme Court, with the justices recusing themselves, and then a lot of things getting flipped, counter to how we thought they were. Like, there was a lot going on with Kim Clement in regards to the Supreme Court. So I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those wait and see. I mean, would it be nice if Lloyd Brunson and his brothers were able to get the Supreme Court to not be so swampy? Yeah, I would appreciate that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes in the end. And this is the thing is we can sit here and we can guess and we can put dates forward and this and that and the other thing. It was like everybody, when they were trying to guess who was going to be President Trump's running mate, and then everybody was shocked about J.D. Vance. And now all of a sudden, J.D. Vance is kind of a person to rally around, which is what he should be as the vice president. A lot of people didn't know who Mike Pence was, but we think we might know more about J.D. Vance. We don't know.
We don't know.
But right now, everything looks like it's going according to plan. Everything looks like the left is getting backed into that corner more and more each and every day. They keep making mistakes. It shows that the media is trying too hard, that they're trying to make their vice presidential candidate look like Richard Simmons, coming out, like you just give the dude a hairband. Not that, he would have anything to do with the hairband, but I digress. So just wait and see, folks, on things like this. But I don't have an answer on that one. Aaron says, and Trump shows Kamala is not a natural born citizen. And he did show that Barry isn't a natural born citizen either. But that didn't work out. And a lot of people got canceled off of that one. Yeah, Jenny says 5D chess. I do believe that some of these things that come up, and even some of the things that Kim Clement talked about, were merely just to get people to look into a specific direction, so that way they could redirect their focus into other things.
Talking about walls.
Walls, yeah, Walls does have the P3DO vibes without a doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the dude drinks horse essence.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. Tampon Timmy.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
But in the Bible, it speaks that there's life and death and power in the tongue. Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. Be careful with the things you consistently talk about. Because you're inviting that energy and vibration into your life.
All right, Santino, lay it on us.
What we speak, we bring into existence. We have to be careful of our words. And I know that, what on earth happened? How did I disappear?
I don't know.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Couldn't find my camera. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right. Well, this is really weird. My computer's on the fritz. Forgive me. Thank you. Here, Kay, you got anything to say?
No.
What do you mean, no?
I don't.
Oh, Lord. Now we're really in for it. Okay, so we're just going to have to go without a camera.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Anyways, got to be careful of the words that we say, because we can speak problems into existence just as much as we can speak hope and joy and love and peace and success and all of the things that we want in life. But the problem is we're usually not listening to the words that we're saying before they come out of our mouth. So we got to listen to what we're saying before we utter them. I know, Agent Smith strikes again. So how do we focus on that? Well, take a little bit more time before you say the words that you want to say, because we all have things that are important and things that we feel like that we need to say and things that we want to say. So we sometimes just blurt them out, when the real thing, the important part would more so be that we consider our words and we make sure that what we say is positive, that what we say is going to bring life. If we have the power of life and death within our tongue, then we should be most careful. There you go. Thank you. It was, freaking me out too. Anyways, we should be most careful with our words, especially considering how much power is within them. God spoke the universe into existence. So why do we not have maybe not that much power within us, but not that power to be able to speak these things into existence? So watch your words. Make sure that it's filled with life and love. And then you might just sit back and watch that as you mind your words before you speak them, watch and see how much your life gets better.
Yeah, because if you sit around and you talk about everything that's miserable, all you're doing is bringing more misery to you. What you think about and what you think about, you bring about. And yes, Jenny, words are spells.
Yes.
Exactly, Hope. He spoke himself out of existence. Just he does this to me to see how I will fare on my own, I guess. Oh, wait. There he is. Yay.
Had to refresh. Thank you, Agent Smith, for that excitement. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Douchebag. Anyway, but what you think about, you bring about. So instead of constantly thinking about what you don't want, think about what you do want. If you want peace, pray for peace. Don't pray for no wars, because your concentration is on wars. You have to really mind your P's and Q's, so to speak. And when you're saying something, you just have to be really careful of what you're saying. Aaron says Agent Smith got all excited about the pedo talk and hit the wrong button.
I'm still trying to talk to it.
Oh,
Y'all
it's
awesome.
been a week.
And Bill, I can understand why you're struggling, man. But you know what? I'm sure that your presence there is bringing everything that everybody there needs. You're doing good things, man. And you're all doing good things. I want to say that because really you're staying strong in one of the most difficult times. And when there's nothing that's really sure out there right now, it is an act of courage to be able to stay focused on everything that's going on and maintaining the hope that you do have in the midst of these trying times. But it's our faith that brings us through. So each one of you should make sure that you take a look back at the challenges and struggles that you've had and give yourself the kudos for the blessings that you've brought to the world around you.
Exactly.
Steph says, okay, Kay and Santino, if you don't see me here and there next week, you know I'm out of town, but I will try to come and say hello. Much love to you all. Have a wonderful weekend, and God bless you all.
We love you,
Thank
Steph.
you, Steph.
You
We
have
love you. Yeah, you
fun.
have a great time, and definitely safe travels.
Thank you, Hope.
It does. It does look good, doesn't she?
Yeah, when it's the summertime, it's hard for me to keep it down because it's so hot. But it's cooling down, so I get to keep it down, and I'm really excited about that.
I'm ready for cold weather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Safe travels, Steph. You have a blast with your family. That's the most important thing.
And Bill, our music historian here, ain't nothing last forever in the cold November rain.
Amen.
There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you all for joining us on yet another week. And we look forward to seeing you again on Monday. And thank you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a moment and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on Rumble or YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, pick a button.
Pick the buttons.
Pick the buttons.
Hit all of the buttons.
Yeah, hit them all. I don't care.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We love you all. Have a great weekend. Be safe and God bless.